Frankie.
And it's Angie.
And we are To Be Real. Woo, woo. So we want to talk about a really special topic today. With everything going on, everything feels a little heavy. Out there in the world, it's heavy, from, people passing to natural disasters to mental illness to health to, just everything going on in the communities. We just want to kind of reflect and take some time to see, what are you doing to protect your peace at all costs? So, Angie, I'm going to ask you, like I start off all the time, what are some things that you're doing to protect your peace at all, costs? Because, life is lifing right now. And I feel like more than ever, we feel it.
Yeah.
So what are some things you have in place that you're doing to do that?
Yeah. So some of the things that I'm doing, like you said, with everything going on currently now, whether it's the climate control, social inequality, one of the things that I do, and I've always done this, is just kind of limit myself as far as watching the news, especially, regular news channel or even social media. I try to limit myself with the intake that I take, especially like first thing in the morning, and right before I go to bed. I am very particular, and you can ask my family. If the news is blaring close, I'm like, I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. Just because of the stuff, like a lot of the stuff they do put on the news channel is always something negative, or just something that can cause you to just be stressed or worried, and just so I try to limit myself. What about you, Frankie?
For me, I start off with just trying to keep it positive. Anything that I feel like is going to disturb me, I try to limit myself to social media. I try to have my breaks. Like you, I try not to look at the news too much. I try to stay aware of things, but I don't let it consume me.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of, I like to be outside with nature. I feel like, just being outside and just, listening to jazz, that really soothes me. I love music. That's my escape, especially jazz. Sometimes when I'm in the car, I can't listen to words. I can't listen to anybody singing or talking. I just like straight instruments, music. Yeah. It kind of helps soothe me, just kind of get my thoughts together in the morning. But one of the biggest things I start off with is with prayer and affirmations. Definitely keeping myself grounded with that, trying to look for positive quotes and inspirational quotes, because you have to inspire yourself.
You do have to inspire yourself. And I'm glad that you said that, because one of the things that I had just recently started doing is in the morning, like I said, I don't try to get into like the negative part of things. I start listening to motivation, like whether it's a podcast or if it's on YouTube, and just listening to different people and just motivational speakers, just to encourage myself too as well, and motivate myself. Because again, we can get distracted with the things that are going on and this and feel. And I feel like a lot of the things that are going on, it's causing a lot of fear, people to be fearful, anxiety. So just like you said, trying to find a balance. I love how you say something that causes you to relax, whether it's being outside, going for long walks, listening to just music being played, whatever it is that just takes you out of whatever it is that can cause you to be in a mental state where it just causes you to worry, like you said.
I feel like also, sometimes we worry about stuff that's never going to happen, like, jumping ahead of ourselves in a day. Like, His grace is only sufficient for us for that day, So we can't really worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. We really have to let tomorrow
worry about itself. Exactly.
And I think a lot of people's anxiety and stress and mental anguish comes from worrying about the future. And that's something that we just really, have to put in the Lord's hands. And, just say, it's your will. You got this. You take care of the birds. You're going to take care of me. And that's really where whatever your faith is, that comes in. And you really have to just go off faith.
Exactly.
Faith and positivity.
And so when you think about too, with everything going on, what can you do to, I guess, shed a little bit of positivity into, whether it's your home or at work or just, outside? What are you doing? What are some things that you can do to help
You know, for me, I've always been a smiler. So to me, it starts with a simple smile and hello, how are you? You know, being kind is the number one thing you can do. You never know what anybody is going through.
Yeah.
Even if the person is not nice to you, you can't take stuff personal nowadays. You don't know what that person's going through. Yeah. So my first and foremost, I always try to be kind, you know. I always try to have some kind of positive, you know, quote at work. I try to, you know, send positive quotes or amongst my friends, you know, in text messages or, you know, just letting people know if you're feeling down, hey, you can talk to me. Yeah. And just try to be that ray of sunshine. You know, but for me, the number one thing is just being kind. Yeah. A simple smile can go a long way. Yeah. I mean, I remember it was a time I was driving down the street and I looked over at a stranger and they were just kind of staring out the window. You can kind of tell they were down. And I just turned over and smiled and they kind of just smiled. And I don't know what that could have impacted, you know? So, for me, I just say, just be kind. Yeah. Pay it forward. You know, you never know when you pay it forward how far that goes. Yeah. It might be little, but it's making a big impact.
Yeah. There's so much, you know, with people, how we're dealing with each other, how we feel about each other, whether it's
different opinions,
what you believe, your culture, you know, what you look like, you know, there's a lot of that. So even like you said, just giving someone a smile or being, you know, you've heard it before, don't be the problem, be the solution. So what can you contribute to the problem? And like you said, smiling, being a friendly, just a friendly soul to someone, you know, that may need it. And contributing in a positive way could be being an activist, right? Against those, you know, we know what an activist is. Right. Joining a group or just, you know, standing for a cause, a good cause, right?
Volunteering. You know, especially to the younger kids. They need to see some positivity, you know, going to schools and reading or, you know, Boys and Girls Club. You have that in your community. Definitely volunteer. Let them see a positive influence because, you know, they see so much on social media. Like growing up, I was outside most of the time. We didn't have social media. Outside.
Mama said, don't. She said, well, you better be home before the light.
Like, come on. Lights, you know, so it wasn't a phone call. I gotta get home. The lights was our phone call. I get home now. So, right. You know, or
we didn't have cell phones.
Or the little lightning bugs.
The lightning bugs came out. Let's just say you knew when to get your butt home. Like you knew when to get
bikes dropped and they was in the same place the next morning. But really, you know, just try to volunteer. Try to advocate for, you know, those that can't for themselves and just pay attention to the small things, to the people around you, and you know, just sometimes just take a moment and stop and just be grateful, you know, and have grace and, you know, extend grace to others.
Embracing culture, not just your culture, but embracing other people's cultures and just having an understanding. With that, I think that what we need now is more love, kindness, like you said, grace.
Like the song. What the world needs now.
Sing it.
Is love, sweet love. Okay, I'm gonna take y'all.
I think that we just need more love to be shared in this time. Whether it's big, like I said, your contribute is to the community it can be big and it can be small. Yeah. Every bit counts. Every little counts. So
and you make a difference whether you believe it or not. Like I said, it goes a long way. Yeah. You know, just check in with your heart. Make sure that heart's right. You know?
And also, you know, identifying what your core values are too.
Exactly.
And then, you know, once you've identified your core values and standing by it, and then work around what your core values are. Integrity, you know, and I think that's very important. I like you said, I feel like sometimes we lose ourselves, not intentionally, but just, you know, sometimes we don't know that we are losing ourselves in the midst of everything going on. And we don't have to feel fearful. We don't have to feel powerless. You know, you just got to step back and you have to sometimes, okay, what do I need to do as far as with myself first? And then what can I do for the people outside?
And that's what I mean when I say make sure your heart is good. Make sure your heart is right and in the right place. Yeah. You know, because if you're going to do for others, make sure you do it with integrity. Yeah. You know, and make sure you do it with a purpose. And just make sure your heart is in a good place. You know, to spread the love, spread the joy, the positivity, the good vibes.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm gonna tell you, there was a moment that I had when, you know, with everything going on, I was like, you know what, I want to get into, like, I said for a second, politics. I was like, but not to say politics. I'm not saying like I wanted to run for office, but I wanted to be involved just in the process of like voting. Oh my gosh. I know that's coming up with like in a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Voting makes a difference, especially with stuff going on now. Voting is the most important thing, not just the presidential vote. We're talking about
in your community.
That's the most important thing. The smaller ones is what really matters.
Yeah.
And just paying attention what's going on in our community. Every vote counts. Don't think that it doesn't. It does. And then the old saying is, you can't complain if you don't do anything. If you don't do anything,
it does shape your future and the outcome that we're in, even in today. So you just really have to just be aware. You know, like I had said that I was like, I don't like looking at the news, but I do like to be aware. So
to limit myself and even limit the people that are around me that are constantly negative.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you have to step back and say, you know what?
It goes back to the boundaries thing.
It goes back to the boundaries, but setting that boundaries.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to protect our peace at all costs, especially going on, you know, so
going forward.
So, you know,
give yourself grace, you know, and just, like I said, be kind. We never know what people are struggling with out there, y'all. There's mental health issues. People are grieving in ways that you have no idea. People are financially hurting. People are brokenhearted. So just check in with your heart and check in with yourself and just make sure that you are spreading the love. Yeah. You know, because we need all the love we can get now. That's what the world needs. And I'm not going to sing. I'm not going to. But the world needs now is love, sweet love. We do.
Yes. And lots of grace and mercy.
Yes. Grace and mercy.
The two twins.
Yes.
I absolutely agree with that. So yeah.
So with that being said, how are y'all, you know, checking in with yourselves and protecting your peace at all costs? You know, let us know. You know, DM us, put in the comments. You know, just tap in and let us know what are y'all doing to pay it forward. So,
how are you navigating through all the current issues that are going on?
Yeah.
So
this thing called life. Because life is life. But God be God, and so
exactly.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. But thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode.